As we head into the November midterm election, we're highlighting important races here in California. The insurance commissioner is a key role in our state, gaining even more attention after the LA wildfires.
And Levi Sumagaysay is an economy reporter for CalMatters. She's been following the latest in this race and is joining us with what voters need to know. Thank you so much for being with us this morning, Levi.
Good morning, and thank you.
Yeah, of course, the commissioner regulates the state's insurance market and policy frameworks, and I think especially after the fires, so many people had their eye on this race. So tell us how important of a role this is and how it can impact residents.
Sure, yeah. I mean, almost everyone in California has to drive to school or to work or to wherever they need to go. So everyone is required to have auto insurance. If you're a homeowner, you have a mortgage, you need home insurance. If you are a small business owner or a renter, you need insurance. And so the insurance commissioner regulates the state insurance department, which is in charge of regulating insurance and approving insurance rates, right? And so that's important. If you don't have affordable insurance, if you don't have available insurance, that's going to affect how you live and work in California.
So let's talk about the two candidates here that they're going to be on the November ballot. You've got Jane Kim and State Senator Ben Allen. They have very different approaches to the insurance crisis. Can you talk about their platforms, one much more progressive leaning than the other?
Sure. So Jane Kim is a former San Francisco board supervisor, and she was director of the California Working Families Party. So yes, she is seen as more progressive. Her platform, her main big idea is that she wants the state to run natural disaster insurance for all. So she would want to split fire insurance from regular homeowner insurance. And she would want that to be funded by premiums that homeowners already pay to their insurance companies, and have those companies send that portion to a state-run fund.
Right.
Senator Ben Allen, what he's saying is that there should be more.
Private. He wants to improve the private market.
Coordination between all the different stakeholders to try to mitigate fire risk. And he thinks that if there is buy-in from individuals, communities, as well as the insurance companies and the state, that mitigation, avoiding fire, making sure, getting rid of the risk or minimizing the risk, that should help fix what is wrong with insurance right now. There is an availability problem. A bunch of insurers stopped writing new policies in high-risk areas, and that is starting to get a little better, but there's still a long way to go. And so what he's saying is that mitigation is the answer.
Okay, so I do want to talk about Kim more, because she did get the most votes in the primary. We've seen a wave of success with progressive candidates across the nation, and people are wondering if we'll see that in this race. Of course, Kim is endorsed by Bernie Sanders, while you have Allen, who is endorsed by the state's Democratic Party and is more traditional. Do you think we're going to see that progressive wave continue here?
That's an interesting question. I think that Kim's message resonates more because, what she's saying is that everyone should have insurance. And that seems like a very simple message, right? However, this is a very complicated issue. There are different factors in why insurance is why we have problems in the insurance market, increased wildfire risk because of climate change. There are, everything just costs more to replace. And so insurance premiums are going up. When you suffer a fire or get into a car accident, everything costs more to replace, from parts to, trying to rebuild your home. And so there are different factors that are making insurance less affordable. And so it's going to take, complicated, it's a complicated, nuanced thing. And, the answer may not be so simple.
Yeah, I do want to point out that the insurance industry, obviously in some consumer watchdog groups, very leery of a state-run, situation because it could cost billions of dollars
to even kick off.
Yeah, and then be wiped out with one fire. So this is in a very important race. Two interesting candidates. Thank you for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right, Lovey, have a good day. Thanks.